Aye. So it's been so long since I've talked about the latest coming out news that people are starting to pile up. So that's what we're going to get to today. As soon as I mentioned that today's video is brought to you by my latest bisexual product, I gotta say, I love these pop sockets. I've never had one before, and I gotta talk about this at the end of the video. Until then, let's talk about the people coming out, because there's so many that we need to get to them quickly. And believe it or not, we've had a person come out as bisexual every month since March. Yes. And who came out in March? Well, that would be one of my favorite actors. That would be Mr. Lee Pace. And you might know Lee Pace from a show that I first saw him in, which was Pushing Daisies, but also from Guardians of the Galaxy and from the Bisexual Representation Award nominated television show Halt and Catch Fire. So what happened in March that Lee Pace came out? Well, Lee Pace was doing a Broadway show, Angels in America, and he was doing an interview. And in the interview, he stated that he thought that gay characters should be played by gay actors. So the interviewer did a follow-up question, which was, are you gay? And this question seemed to have caught him off guard because he kind of offensively, at least from the tone of the article, said, I've dated men, I've dated women. I don't know why anyone would care. I gotta say, when I saw that, I was like, oh, yeah? But I didn't want I wanted to talk about it on the channel, but I didn't want to talk about it on the channel because it felt like he was not in a good place with it yet. Something just told me, give it a time, give it a moment. You know, we want him on our side. We want him to, at least I want him on our side. He's 6'5", just like me. Not the point. Anyway, so I thought, okay, well, if we just give him some time, he will come to us and he'll feel more confident when he does it. So I didn't talk about it. And look at that. In June, he did another article, this time with New York Times, and in it, he was talking about how he might have come off as a little gruff in the previous interview. And he replied, and explained it by saying this. The truth is, when you grow up queer, you get tough and a perspective. So that's it. Lee Pace. Hey, remember, there's sexual orientation and sexual identity. Sexual orientation is objectively, what is it? So he's dated men and women. He is bisexual. And his current, at least one of his self-identities, is queer. There you have it. Congratulations, Lee Pace. It makes me so proud to think that you are a member of the community because I've always been a fan. So that was March. What about April? Well, April, it was Janelle Monae. And you might recognize Janelle Monae from a couple of movies, such as the Academy Award-winning Moonlight, as well as the really, really great movie Hidden Figures. You might recognize from music, including her recent album, which she did in collaboration with Prince. And I gotta say, big Prince fan, so I am a big fan of her album, her latest album. But how do we know that she's bisexual? Like, where did she come out? It was in a Rolling Stones article where she said this. Being a queer black woman in America, someone who has been in relationships with both men and women, I consider myself to be a free-ass mother effer. And then the article states that she initially identifies bisexual, and she clarifies that, but later I read about pansexuality and was like, oh, these are things I identify with too. I'm open to learning more about who I am. So there you have it. Janelle Monae, incredibly good actress, very, very cool singer, and bisexual, specifically pansexual person. How awesome is that? So that's April. What about May? Well, in May we had two comings out, one of which was something you guys have asked me to comment on, and that is Rita Ora. Rita Ora came out, well, she came out, she was forced out of the bisexual closet after she produced the song Girls. And you have to excuse me, I'm a little sick right now. After she came out with the song Girls, there was a lot of pushback on it because it was meant to be a bisexual anthem, a bisexual female anthem. And, well, After people had a lot of fuss about it, she wrote this on Twitter. She said, "Hello, everyone reading this. Girls was written to represent my truth and is an accurate account of my real and honest experiences in my life. I have had romantic relationships with women and men throughout my life, and this is my personal journey." And again, I say, you guys have asked me to comment on the music video and what you wanted my opinion on it. And I've been hesitant to talk about it because I've had a hard time understanding why people have had a problem with this. And I thought, well, maybe it's because I'm a male and maybe I should give this more time and think about this before I just say something that isn't respectful. But I gotta say, after a long time thinking about this, what is so wrong with saying that sometimes I want to be with girls or sometimes I want to kiss girls? Why is that inherently wrong no matter who says that? If a female says it, if a male says it, I don't get why someone would have a problem with it. But I do understand why a lesbian might have a problem with this. And the person who was the most vocal against this has been, you guessed it, a lesbian. So really, is the lesbians' pushback on this really just about the song? Or is it about the concept of bisexuality in general? Now, of course, she's a very liberal singer, so, you got to give her the benefit of the doubt, of course. But I think it's kind of telling that anyone, would have a problem with the idea that someone sometimes wants to be with girls. I don't get it. I don't get why that's a problem. I just don't get it. But that's my opinion on the song, and it's unfortunate that Rita Ora was forced out of the closet because of it. Honestly, you make a song like that, you should have been out of the closet to begin with. That's another story. But no matter how it happened, I certainly am very proud to have you, Rita, as a member of the bisexual community. And I imagine that you will come up with some very cool songs in the future. And don't shy away from talking about your experiences, because you deserve to tell your experiences and your stories just as much as anyone does, even the lesbians. So there you go. But that was the only person who came out in May. Also in May who came out was a trial judge. That's right, a judge in the black cloak who passes judgment over crimes. A trial judge by the name of Mike Jacobs came out in the state of Georgia. So how did this happen? Well, here's a statement that he said. In the statement he says, 2 weeks ago at an event hosted by the Stonewall Bar Association, I came out publicly for the first time. I am bisexual. My wife, Evan, and I have made a mutual decision that it would be a positive step for me to come out. And she proudly stood with me at the Stonewall event. Now, I think this is important for a lot of reasons. First of all, when you grow up not straight, sometimes you have the feeling that justice doesn't necessarily always apply to you. I live in Los Angeles and I have no fear of anything. But there are parts of America where not everyone would have the same privileges as I do. But even living in Los Angeles or living in the Bahamas where I came from, you sometimes think that if something bad happened to you because of your sexual orientation, will you get justice for it? So the idea that a trial judge, a person who would sit in judgment over this sort of situation, someone like that could be bisexual too, filled me with a sense of relief that I didn't even know that I was tense about. So I've been wanting to share this with you guys for a long time because it's really special that a judge who is happily married to a woman has come out as bisexual, because when a person of power comes out, sometimes it can be because they want to be with someone of the same gender, and the only way they can do that publicly is to come out. But he didn't even have to do that. He just did this for us. How awesome is that? Mike Jacob, if you're watching, Mike Jacobs, thank you for that. Thank you for showing us that no matter who you are, it is safe to come out. At least, at least sometimes it's safe. It's safer than we might have thought. Let's say that. So thank you for that. But that was May. Who came out in June? In June, it was Tessa Thompson. And you might remember Tessa Thompson from Thor Valkyrie, Ragnarok, where I told you I was sick. In Thor Ragnarok, she played the Valkyrie. And she, you might remember, made a big deal of mentioning that the Valkyrie is bisexual, and there was a scene shot with her representing that bisexuality. Now it makes sense, right? Now it makes sense why Tessa Thompson would have wanted to make that so clear that she is playing a bisexual. I mean, that is something to be proud of if you are a bisexual. Something to be proud of anyway, but especially if you're a bisexual. And how do we know that she is bisexual? It's because in an article on the website Net-a-Porter, she says this: I'm attracted to men and also to women. And to talking about how, it is in her household that she grew up in, she says, if I bring home a woman or a man, we don't even have to have a discussion. And then, since there's so many rumors about her and Janelle Monae, she responded by saying this. And this is so sweet. She said, we love each other deeply. We're so close, we vibrate at the same frequency. If people want to speculate about what we are, that's okay. It doesn't bother me. So there you have it. Tessa Thompson, super cool bisexual. And that was June. And what about July? Well, just a couple of days ago, from Panic of the Disco, Brendon Urie came out specifically as pansexual. How did this happen? Well, it was in an article for the online magazine Paper when he was asked about masculinity tropes. He responded, no, I'm married to a woman. I'm very much in love with her. But I'm not opposed to a man because to me, I like a person. Yeah, I guess you could qualify me as pansexual because I really don't care. If a person is great, then a person is great. I just like good people. If your heart's in the right place, I'm definitely attracted to men. It's just people I'm attracted to. The interviewer then followed up the question, so you're pansexual? And he responded, I guess so. I guess this is me coming out as pansexual. And there you have it. Ever since March, there's been at least one person who's come out as bisexual. What do you think? How cool is that? How much more comfortable does that make you feel about coming out as bisexual yourself? I hope it does some. Everyone always has to be safe. Everyone always has to take their particular situations into account. But every day it gets safer and safer to come out as bisexual or pansexual or queer, whatever identity that you feel most comfortable with. And I hope you take inspiration from this. And if you like the video and you'd like to support the channel, maybe you should check out my pop sockets on Amazon, because let me tell you something. Again, I'm sick. Let me tell you something. I am very slow to purchase things, especially little trinkets and stuff. But I love this. I love this. I am, of course, like everyone else, always on my phone, and I have large hands, so I've always been able to hold my phone, and I thought, okay, well, that makes it easy. But what makes it even easier is just doing this. I'm in a new world here. I got it just a couple days ago, and I got to say that I love this, and I use this hours in the day. I've been using this for hours. Anyway, check it out. I have them in multiple bisexual themes. There's the heart, which was one I chose. I have one with a flag. I have multiple flags, actually, bisexual flags. But I also have bisexual AF, and I also have pride. And I have the pride and the flags and the hearts in the pansexual colors. I have them in the asexual colors. I have them in the trans colors, which is something new I'm trying to see how that goes. And I have them in the Philly flag colors as well as the gay flag colors, because some of you guys still love the gay flag colors. So there you go. If you like, you can check it out. And also it's in the same link, of course, as my bisexual lapel pins, and my bisexual t-shirts. And of course, don't forget to check out my bisexual romances on Amazon. Currently, they're all available for 99 cents. And right now, for the newest ones, you will be able to get a very complete selection of my writings in that, my bisexual romance writings in that. So if you're going to check it out, now is the time. And if you'd like to see more videos on the bisexual topic, well, I try to release videos every Sunday. And if you'd like to, you can subscribe and you can click on the bell. And by clicking on the bell, you'll be telling YouTube that you'd like to know when a new video comes out. Don't forget to like, and don't forget to stay cooler, my bisexual friend. Stay cooler. Bye.